Hey everybody. In this video I want to talk with you about your gaming environment and how changing your gaming environment is actually having a direct effect on your personal skill in-game as well as your quality of life. Overall, I have a table of content for this video, and first we will talk about your chair. After this we will talk about your desk and your monitor. The next is your headset, your mouse, and your keyboard. And as the last topic, I want just to talk a little bit about hotkeys and hotkey settings. So, for the chair. Well, the most important thing about a chair is actually the comfort. The chair needs to be feeling good for you. So, look for a chair and that you actually can chill and relax, because the more comfortable you are with your situation, the easier it is for you to do anything at your computer. And the second important thing about a chair is the right posture. And this is not the right posture. And I know a lot of people that are sitting like this in front of the PC. And there are also people who are sitting at a table in the kitchen and like they're I'm sorry. Or they're sitting on a couch or a sofa and they're leaning back and like doing this stuff, and this is not okay. If you really want a good posture for playing long gaming sessions that actually increasing your overall performance, do it like this. Sit right, have a good posture, and sitting good in front of your PC. That's the first important thing in your step to become a better gamer, most likely. Next, your desk. First off, we will have matte paint skills, because I want to show you some things first. This is your desktop, or this is your desk and your computer. Let me explain some things, because it might not be it's all is clear. Like, you look at this picture and everything is clear, but still I want to explain a little bit. Well, this black thing here is the monitor, while the gray thing is the keyboard, and this is the mouse with the mouse pad. And those green areas are free space. I will talk about it too. And well, the brown thing of course is the desk. Everybody should have seen that. And well, the red one, that's basically you, or in the situation me. So why I'm showing this? Because where your keyboard and your mouse is and your monitor is the first important thing on your desk. Because if you really want to have an optimal control of your keyboard and your mouse, it's the best thing if you put your keyboard this much into the table, like around this. So if you have your arm, this is how far away from the edge of the desk you want your mouse and your keyboard to be. Why is it so? Because if you put it here, you only have this much space to move your mouse. And in addition to this, you always have to hold your arm up, and this is just exhausting your arm. And the more exhausted your arm is, the less is your overall control and your overall performance. And you also didn't want it to be here, like under your elbow, because if you have it under your elbow, it's like your arm is so far away from you that you still can't control it. Because if you try to control it this, or you want to do like you're writing in this far away from yourself, it's really hard for you. But if you do it this, it's easy. You can write really nice, you can use your mouse, you can use your keyboard, and this is because you want your keyboard and your mouse to be around this far away from the edge of the table. What's the free space for? Well, let's be honest guys, we're all eating and drinking in front of our computer. And this is okay. But if we do not want to interrupt or to destroy our performance in the game, the area where our monitor, our mouse and our keyboard is, we need this to be cleared. And because of this, the free space is important to put everything that's not actually for your direct control there. food, drinks, papers, cigarettes, everything you need at your computer, but it should not be interfere with your actual control. Let's look at some no-goes, or how to not sit in front of your computer. Well, this is a really nice battle station, like 3 monitors, then the tablet, then the laptop. But look at the keyboard and look at the mouse situation. It is this situation. You always, if you have this battle station, this desk, you're always sitting there in this position. And this is really, really exhausting your arms. Long gaming sessions will not go by this. And also the control, the actual control of your mouse and your keyboard is really, really reduced by having it like this. A few more pictures how to not do it. This one, well, it's basically the same than the first, but with a little other options and a little bit here. It's not that optimal. So this is the same, but instead of having a situation where you have like this, you see he has like an extra board laying on his couch or whatever it is, and he's just chilling in front of it. That's perfectly fine if you're watching a video, but if you're actually trying to perform in a computer game and you're trying to do a good performance, this is not you want to sit in front of your computer. But you also see he's using the free space on the left and the right side of his desk really, really good. Like, really good. And he could go for his third row, no problem. And last, this one, here you see he have the bottle in front of the monitor and the cigarettes on the mouse pad, and those are all things that interfering with your control if you really need to perform perfectly. Well, how to some nice pictures of some free things. If you look at this picture, you already see that he's around with his mouse and his keyboard. It's around this area. So if you look at it and you look at the desk, it's around this area where the mouse and the keyboard is. So this is really nice of him. And you also have some free space on the right side. Well, currently it's not that free because there is this PlayStation, but that shouldn't be a problem at all. It's actually really nice. And this one is for 1 monitor, and well, the keyboard and the mouse are actually too much in front of the desk or too near at the edge, but it's just easy for him to push both a little bit into the table, and then that would be a really, really nice battle station with lots of free space, with a good position of mouse and keyboard. And this is increasing your overall gaming performance and your quality of life while sitting on the computer. Let's go for the monitor. First off, most important on a monitor is the screen size, because looking at a monitor that is this big is never good. We always want to have a really big thing, but being big is not everything. Then we also have the resolution. You can have a really big monitor with a really, really bad resolution, or you can have a smaller one that actually has a good resolution. And even while the monitor size or the screen size is what's showing how big something is, the resolution is how much that's possible to show on the monitor. So having a big screen, best of widescreen, in addition to a good resolution, that's perfectly fine. The next thing for gaming you want to have is the reaction time of the monitor. On the new monitors like the TFTs, you have the problem that the average reaction size is around 8 to 60 milliseconds. And this is the time how often or how much time the monitor need to refresh or to build the whole screen at once. For gaming, you want to try to have at least 8 milliseconds. Better is 2 milliseconds. If you have 2 milliseconds, the screen will just go for 500 times a second, and this is good. You won't have on a fast, if you're going fast, it's reaction time is nothing like, the faster you're moving, the faster the pictures are coming in, then it might blur a little bit if your reaction time is too low. and because of that you want to have a nice low reaction time of the monitor. And last but not least is the contrast. And the contrast is important if you have situations where colors are like the same. If you have like the same colors, then the contrast becomes much important, because if you see a color moving and you have a high contrast, it's easier to see the actual figure or the actual player that is moving on the spot. Like imagine you're standing in a desert and one with an orange brown armor is running to you. If he's really far away, you might not see him, but the higher the contrast is, the easier for you it's to see. There is another thing about monitors, and that's the angle of the monitor itself. Well, the angle should be, if you look at this nice picture, your view onto the monitor should be orthogonal. Yeah, orthogonal. I don't like this word in English, but orthogonal. So it should be orthogonal if you're looking down. It shouldn't be like, let me take this paper. If we look at this and this is your monitor, you don't want your monitor to be like really, really vertical. You want it to be a little bit, oh, you don't see it? This. So you want it to do a little bit this, that you have an orthogonal view on the monitor itself. And also it should be between 50 to 80 centimeters in front. I'm sorry for the American guys, I'm not yet sure what this is in inch. Google will help you. Yeah, well, this is basically it. And if you have a nice position of your keyboard too, you can look at the screen and on your keyboard at the same time, and this is increasing your performance as well. Headset. Before we go into details with the headset, I want to clarify one thing. And this is very, very important. And this should be important for everybody who's calling himself or herself a gamer. The headset needs a cable. We are not doing anything without a headset that has a cable. A cable is important, because nobody likes to have like, oh guys, I'm sorry, my headphone, my headphone is empty and I can't hear you and I can't talk anymore. Yeah, GG. Nobody likes this. So having a wireless headset, that's never good. It's never ever good. The next thing is the comfort, because on a if you have a long gaming session with your guild, with your friends, you want to feel good. You don't want to have like don't want to hurt yourself with your headphone. You want to have a nice little headset on your head that's actually feeling pretty well. And the best, it's feeling like you don't have a headset on. So you might want to try some headsets. I recommend headsets with a big ear thing because they are nice to wear. But that's also only a personal opinion. Next is the sound quality. Sound quality is always important if we are doing something with sound, because the better the sound quality is, the much better we can tell what the actual sound is. And with this too, if possible, go for a headset with 3D sound. If the game you're playing is having 3D sound, on hearing you know where the enemy is coming from. And last but not least, on the microphone, on the headset, have a good microphone on the headset. We are playing an MMO. We are not playing a single player game. We have to communicate with the players, and that's most likely to be on TeamSpeak or on another voice over IP system. And you want people to understand you. You don't want to have people asking like every second sentence you, what did you say? Or like the other one guy, what did he say? And because of that, having a good microphone quality is improving your overall life with your guild and your friends. The mouse. Well, for the mouse, there is one important thing. Cable! Keep this in mind, because it's the same. Like, oh, this is a nice boss, and oh, this is like the tournament, and if we won the tournament, we have won the championships. My mouse, oh my god, I can't move my mouse cursor. Why? No! you see, gamers don't use wireless input features. Or in general, you don't use something on gaming that's wireless. You don't even use wireless LAN or LAN. You just use a cable to connect to the internet. And the next thing again is the comfort, or better said, that's 1, 2, 3. It's a comfort of the mouse. Even a mouse, it's something you need to be comfortable with, because the feeling of your hand will get tired if you have an awkward feeling in your hand and an awkward position. Your hand is most likely to get exhausted earlier, or your hand, not your mouse. Also, you should use optical mouse. Well, let's not talk about ball mouses, and laser mouses are also old generation. Go for optical mouse. That's like the best control you can get. It should also, as the same with comfort, should fit in your hand. The mouse should feel right in your hand, and it should fit your needs. So looking for a mouse, you should think about what goodies and buttons you want the mouse to have. I'm using a Razer Naga, and my needs are having 12 buttons for my thumb. That's most important for me, because I can have a whole hotbar on my mouse, and this is allowing my left hand to have better performance on moving. But there are also macro systems you can have on mouses. There are other shortcut features, and basically you need to look for the right mouse that's fitting your needs. And one more thing is, use a mousepad. Even if optical mouses don't need a mousepad to be good, having a gaming mousepad with a nice little touch that's increasing your performance, or with having grip, it's just increasing your performance. It's just for like the milli small itch of movement. You just misclick this, and because this misclick, it's done. And with a good mousepad, that's not going to happen. Keyboard. Well, as first point, I think you can already know. Cable. I don't want to explain this anymore. Next is, always, if you switch a keyboard, you always need time to adjust. So even if you think that the keyboard might not fit for you after trying it a little bit, you always need time. It's how hard you need to press the keys, how the keys are actually, how big the keys are, and stuff like that. And you need time to adjust. So once you have adjusted to a keyboard, it will get better. Also, maybe you want to have macros on the keyboard. Well, there are games that do not allow having macros, like attack macros, but you always can use quality of life macros. Like you can always doing like shout macros or invite macros and party macros, and doing this, and this is increasing your quality of life a lot. And as fourth point, it's always a good idea to having additional keys near your movement keys. Because if you have additional keys near your movement keys, you can put other hotkeys on it, or you can put other shortcuts on it. Now to hotkeys. Now we have talked about the environment itself. We have talked about the desk, the chair, and everything. And if you go for this, I claim that your overall gaming performance will increase. It will just increase by doing those small things, because if you feel good in front of the computer, if you feel good and you feel comfortable with your situation, your performance is just from this, your performance is going to increase. And also because it's like the less exhausting possible stuff you can do, your overall performance on a long gaming session is increasing, or it's holding at a higher level for a longer time. Now for hotkeys, well, if I talk about hotkeys, I'm implying that we are not clicking. We are not fucking clicking skills. Never. It's like the same situations with the cable. You want to have a cable on your mouse, on your keyboard, and on your headset, and you don't want to click with the mouse cursor a skill, because this will mess up your movement and your control. but this is for another story. There are lots of different layouts. Like everybody can set the hotkeys the way they want, but it is also depending on your movement keys. If I have my friend, like I have a friend who is not using the movement keys A, W, S, D, but he's using S, E, D, and F as movement keys. It's just like one step to the right side. And once you change your movement keys, you also want to change the overall key bindings, because your hand is on another place of the keyboard. If we look at the basic layout, and now just let's open this nice little keyboard I have here. So go in. You can see, no, you can see my, oh, what's this? Oh, okay. You can see my presses. Well, if we say we are moving to the left side because we're pressing A. Try now, while you have your right hand that's moving the mouse, try now to use like the 0, like this. Try if you use it. You can use it. It's okay. You can use it, but just look your hand. Do it yourself. It's creepy how to do it. And the basic layout, this is why people do clicking, because people say, oh, I have to walk, and then they want to press this key, the skill that's on the 0, and then they're going, because they can't click it with the hand, with the left hand, with the movement hand, they start clicking it on the hotbar, and this is how clicking was created. So that's not good. Also, mouse buttons are helping. Like I said, Razer Naga that has 12 thumb buttons. Having skills on your thumb is a pretty nice thing, because first, this is really easy. Like clicking, like clicking. It's really easy for everybody. And also, if I use the skills that I use the most on my mouse, while I don't have to do anything, like the thumb is always, it's just there. Yeah, having a thumb or not, it's not that important on the normal mouse. But if you have buttons on your mouse, on the thumb, you can just put skills on it. And if you put skills on it, it's like giving you the option that your left hand or your movement hand can really go into the movement itself. So you don't need to put your left hand or your left fingers away from the movement buttons, because most of the important skills are on your actual thumb. Well, for this, we are talking about my layout, because I could show you dozens of layouts. I could just, this is a layout, this is a layout. I'm just going to tell you or explain my layout to you and the reasons behind you, so you can think about yourself and the reasons about yourself for your own layout. And also I feel most comfortable with it. I'm using AWSD layout, movement layout, and I have it Razer Naga optimized. So I have like the whole first hotbar on my mouse. And on this hotbar I have every skill that I permanently use. For Cabal 2, we can say that's the low cooldown skills, like the basic consecutive chain. It's the AoE consecutive chain, like everything that has less than 10 seconds cooldown, because those are the skills I actually want to use really easy. For the next stuff, this is my layout for the whole hotbar. It's one, like here, 1, 2, you can see on the nice thing here. 1, oh, you can't see it. I currently see, you don't see on my own screen. There's this nice little overlay keyboard. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm disappointed. But we can't do anything. Okay, so I'm just explaining it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this is in a real. Because we don't see it on my screen, or you don't see it in the video, you have to look at your keyboard yourself. Because if you have your hand on AWSD, 1 to 5 is really easy to access. It's just click, 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 click. And then we have Q, E, R, F, C, V, and X. And this is, you see again, really close to the movement keys. So if you want to click a skill with this key bindings, you don't need to move your fingers away. It's just like clicking left or right from the movement keys. And it's really a nice layout because you have all the skills, or you have all buttons, you need all hotkeys in a single area, and you don't need to move your hand from like this to press like the 0 key while you are moving, because keep in mind, you want always to move. And if you want to move, you have like 1 or 2 fingers that are bind on your movement keys. And having the rest of the keys near your movement keys is really doing a good job. If you're now asking where I have my use, because I rebinded the F key, I'm using T. T is still in the area of the movement keys, but it's not as close to the movement keys. But also using the use button I do after a fight, when there is no fight at all, or if I already want to use it, so I know I want to use it and I don't need to, I have to use it now this very fast. The third row for me is binded with the shift modifier, so I'm just have the same layout for the second bar, just adding a shift, because having my small finger like my pinky to use the shift modifier, then I can press all buttons the same. And now try to move to the left side, pressing shift, and then use your 0 key. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. And for people that don't have a Razer Naga, or they don't have this much buttons on a mouse, because there are other mouses than the Naga that have actual some thumb keys, you can use the control modifier, and it's close to the shift modifier, and you can reach all keys perfectly fine. Well, doing this and thinking about your hotkey layout this way is really improving your performance overall, because you have a much easier time to use the skill. You don't need to click, no clicking, and it's improving your quality of life, because you will have a much easier time for yourself to use your actual skills. That's it, and with that, thank you for watching. See you again.